What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 34 of the Off The Dribble podcast. I'm here with my co-host Aashrith Iyer, and today we're going to be kind of discussing, since it's basically the midway point of the NBA season. Almost 41 to 42 games have been played for almost every team. We're going to be discussing the midseason kind of awards and what we think they're going to look like. So going from MVP all the way from like Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and then also talking about the first team through third team All NBA teams, and also going on to talking about the first team and second team All Defensive teams. So I feel like that's where our predictions are going to be a little bit different. I feel like in like MVP, Rookie of the Year, kind of will be a little bit of the same. So if you just stick with us through a little bit throughout the end of the video, you'll see some little crazy predictions for both of us. But Aashrith, you can start it right off with MVP, and we can go 3-3-2-2-1-1.
Yeah. So I think this should be a pretty standard order, I think, for
Yeah.
like most like NBA fans. But 3, I have Giannis.
Yep. 3, I have Giannis as well.
And 2, I have Jokic.
Yep. 2 is Jokic.
And 1 is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah. 1 is Shea as well. And I'll let you touch on Shea since you are the Thunder fan here.
Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about Shea enough on this podcast, but I think like one part of Shea that really goes like unnoticed is his defense. And I guess I'll touch on that later in the episode too, but his ability to guard has really been like put on blast this season because of how good the rest of our defensive players are. Um, we were talking about this the other day, but he's like always the worst defender on the court for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have like Caruso, Dort, Kaysen, J-Dub, Chet, like you have so many pieces that at any point, like Shea is going to be the one that they target, but they've been unable to target him. Like this season, I saw a stat where opponents are shooting 38% when guarded by Shea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like first half of Wizards Russ numbers is like diabolical.
Yeah.
So like it's been good. I mean, he's obviously like I think the best one-on-one scorer in the league, like aside from Kevin Durant. I think like he's one of the best finishers in the league. He's that mid-range jump shot. If he misses, it's like weird.
Yeah.
And he's adding that pull-up three, which he took a lot to like the dismay of a lot of Thunder fans to start the season. It was a lot of 1-6, 1-7 type games, but now he's starting to like pick it up just a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I don't think there's necessarily an argument for MVP at this point, like of the season. Every year, we kind of like the MVP kind of distances themselves. Like at this point last season, we knew it was going to be Jokic, even though maybe I would prefer it to be Shea. But now I think Shea has distanced himself enough from everyone else with our record to the point where I think it's comfortable to say that the Thunder will have their third MVP.
Especially with like the Thunder's record, I think you guys are 35-7. So like
Yeah,
Nuggets are 28-16. So like when it comes to like MVP, you kind of have to take into consideration like team's overall record. So with the record like that being, I think like the second best team in the league, like especially like you said, he's a fully like a 3-level scorer. Like he can score efficiently on all 3 levels. Like three-pointer wise, like it's not super efficient like one of the best shooters in the league or anything, but he doesn't have to do that. He just kind of had to, like you were saying, I feel like the whole reason why he was like jacking up like 7 to like 10 threes a game in like the first like 20 games of the season is maybe to like kind of show like the people guarding him like, okay, like you got to respect my shot, which would make it easier for him to get to the paint. But at the same time, like he doesn't really need that because he can get to the paint so easily. So, and another thing I want to talk about is his free throw attempts. He's averaging 8 a game, and that is slightly lower than his attempts from the previous 2 years. And he also said it himself. He was like, "I don't play the game trying to look for fouls." Like that was my like one knack towards him. Like especially not last year, but the year before was like when he started getting into that like superstar stardom. It was like, oh, like you could kind of tell in the beginning like he was going for those little like bumps, like trying to get in front of the defender. But now like it's just like he's just getting fouled because people can't guard him. So it's not really his fault. So like averaging 30 points a game on like 8 free throws a game, which is like the least amount in your career, is probably not in your career, but like in your career when you're like a superstar.
of his like stardom.
Yeah, of his stardom is probably like also one of the most impressive things to me as well.
Yeah. And we should touch on the other two as well, because like
Yeah, 100%.
Giannis
Giannis is
and
having
Jokic
a
are
great
both
season.
having one of those seasons where like if their team was if the Bucks had any sort of competency in terms of like can like to build a team around him, then it might be his award, because every
Yeah,
year it looks like this guy is getting better, but he just doesn't win the award because there's Jokic who's averaging a triple double, or like
And like
Shea who's leading a team to like unprecedented heights.
exactly. And then speaking of defensively, like Giannis has been like, exceptional defensively this season.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't been talked about enough, and he's not in my top 3 for defense player of the year or anything like that. But like when they played the Spurs and he guarded Wemby, like I kind of expected to happen because like Giannis has the body type to stand against Wemby. He's bigger and he's like long, but like he gave Wemby hell. Like he pretty much bullied him like the whole time. He didn't let Wemby get in the paint or anything like that. So like that defensive player of the year kind of defense has still been there for him as well.
Yeah. And like his offense hasn't regressed at all. Like
It's
one
crazy.
of the stats I like to bring up is like Shea is one of the only players ever to average 30 points a game, 50% shooting for 3 years in a row. But the other player to do it besides Jordan is Giannis. Like
Yeah.
Giannis is step for step, like right there. Giannis
Mhm.
is doing that 60%, I think,
Yeah.
if I'm not
I think
mistaken,
there's
which
only
is like,
been one game this season where he shot under 50% from the field.
yeah, this is
And
crazy.
that was
But he
against you
also,
guys.
huh?
That was against you guys.
It was against us, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, he shot he's shooting better from the field than he is from the free throw line, which
That's
is like
it's
it's interesting.
yeah.
And like we can't speak enough about Jokic either. Like the best playmaker in the league is a center. Like that team is again the team's really picking up. Like Russ
They
is
are.
really giving that team a new vibe. Like Jamal Murray is starting to like finally play up to that like not all-star, but like that like sort of like second star sort of pedigree. And Aaron Gordon's he's back, right?
Yep.
And so Michael Porter Jr. is finally shooting the ball well. Like they're actually getting their pieces going. They just don't have enough bench for me to
Mhm.
like really like compete. But like Jokic is averaging a triple double. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't say anything bad about
I
that.
feel like when you have Jokic on your team, like you're always going to be in like kind of contention. But again, like you kind of saw it in the playoffs last year. Like without a bench, like Jokic starts getting mad, really, really tired towards like game sixes, game sevens, and like series. So like that's kind of what you have to kind of look out for. But again,
Yeah,
like with the player like him, 3-time MVP, like you're in contention every year.
yeah, exactly.
And then moving on, I think we'll move on to just to get this out of the way, the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you have for number 3?
So number 3, I have Stephon Castle.
Okay, number 3, I have Zach Edey.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Number 2, I have Alex Sarr.
Okay, number 2, I also have Alex Sarr.
And number 1, Jalen Wells.
Yeah, number 1, Jalen Wells.
Yeah. I didn't really know too much about. I do like mock drafts, but I don't really do the second round. So Jalen Wells had like a low second round grade, so I didn't really pay too
Yeah.
much attention to him. I don't really know where he went to college either.
Neither did I.
But
I know that he started off playing Division II college his freshman year, and then he transferred somewhere out
yeah,
after that.
I'll figure out what to college later. But like the role he's played for like the Memphis Grizzlies, who seemingly are always injured, is like it's pretty cool to see how like they can like hit on so many like late to early second round
Yeah,
picks.
like Gigi
Like
Jackson as well.
yeah, G Jackson's about to come back. I think Vince Williams is also like that in that sort of draft
Yep.
range.
Mm-hmm.
Late first round, early second round type. So it's another one of those players that like when you're missing Jaw and you're missing JJJ for a little bit, Bane's always injured now, Smart's always injured now. You have Jalen Wells come in there shooting one-legged threes over Richard Wembanyama. Like just the guts to do that like shows me that he's kind of like a cool player.
Yeah,
And
and
like
you can you what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that like it's not really that like I don't really project him to be like Wemby or like
Yeah.
Zion or like one of those like
Mhm.
like the rookie of the years who like really transcend the sport, but maybe like a Malcolm Brogdon
Mhm.
like who like can like one rookie of the year, but like is like is just a consistent role player for like a good amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. And like the one thing that stands out with like Jalen Wells is, I mean, like you said, he's a second round pick. He's shooting the ball pretty efficiently from 38.6, 39%, which is pretty uncommon to see from a rookie, especially when they're on a starting role on such a strong team in the West. And the one thing I like notice about him is like the Grizzlies, they lacked personnel for like a perimeter defender to kind of guard an opposing team's like best like shooting guard or point guard or something along those lines. And because like they have one of the best defenders in the league in Jaren Jackson Jr., but like one of the best interior defenders in the league. And like Jalen Wells, like every single game, he's picking up the other team's best perimeter scorer. Like we played the Grizzlies yesterday. He was like face guarding Ant like every single second like he had the ball. So when you're a rookie and then you're able to do things like that, kind of put in the effort defensively and just play your role. And like I was watching the game. When he gets the ball, he's not over dribbling. He's not like trying to take a stupid shot. He's not doing anything stupid. He's like playing in the flow of the offense, doing what his coach is telling him to do. And when you're doing that at such a high level, like especially with the draft class like that he's in, like it's not like super like star-studded where like, oh, the number 1 to number 10 picks are all like anyone can win Rookie of the Year, anything like that. But just like with the ability for him to play his role at such a high level, and then that defensive versatility is something that I feel like is putting him over the top.
Yeah. I think the interesting part about this Rookie of the Year race is that if I was to project like the 3 best players coming out of this class, I don't think any of them are the 3 I have for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
if I was to think about it, I'd probably think like obviously Jared McCain, but
Like I know both of us were really high on Reed Shepard. Like
yeah,
coming
and
into
I
the
think Reed Shepard, I think he's gonna be that guy, bro. I still think,
yeah,
and like
I still
he just
think
stuck
I don't.
behind a clogged Rockets backcourt.
It's because he's stuck behind Fred VanVleet. Like, dude, Fred VanVleet is not who the Rockets need. I think that Rockets team would be so much better giving at least Reed like 15 minutes a night. Even though they're like in the second seed and trying to contend and they don't want to like let a rookie develop like that. I feel like giving 15 minutes a night, let Fred play like 25, 30, like you'll be in a lot better place.
The contract is too big though. Like paying that guy $41 million a year, you got to pay him, right?
Yeah, you had to play him at that point. But bro, like, come on, you got to think about the team at a certain point too.
It's like y'all, right? Like you
It's
guys
like
are
us,
playing
like
Mike Conley, and Rob Dillingham is gonna give you guys that sort of like jump. But
like yesterday. I don't know if you watched the game at all, but I was watching a little bit of when Rob was playing. He played 15 minutes. He played 17 minutes, scored 15 points, went 6 of 8 and 3 of 4 from 3 with 2 assists and 3 rebounds. And we were up 8 with him in the game, like 5 minutes left in the fourth, and then they took him out right when he was like starting to cook the Grizzlies. And then Mike Conley came in, and the Grizzlies ended up winning.
yeah.
So like it's things like that. But like again, like the NBA is a little bit of politics, not even a little bit, it's a lot of politics. So you got to put that into consideration as well.
Yeah. And I think Reed's gonna like take off once Fred's out of the team, which is probably gonna be the
100%. And then like Jared McCain, when he's back healthy, I think that starting role is I think that's his.
That's waiting for him, yeah. And I'm really high on Bob Carrington too. I think he's gonna be really
Bob
good.
Carrington, like that whole like Wizards like draft class with Keyshawn George, Bob Carrington, Alex Sarr. Keyshawn George is an amazing shooter, a great defender as well. So like they're pretty young. So the next maybe like let's say like 10 years, maybe they'll be good.
15 maybe. All right, what awards should we do next?
We could go to Defensive Player of the Year.
This is a pretty fun one. There's a lot, like we mentioned, like Giannis isn't even going to make both of our top 3s, and he's one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah,
so who do you have at 3?
At 3, I have Dyson Daniels.
At 3 of Dyson Daniels. At 3, I have Lou Dort.
Okay, I understand that as well. At 2, I have Evan Mobley.
Me as well.
And 1, I think we both have.
Yeah, like this guy is like we mentioned the stat like we were talking before, but like he has more career blocks than 90% of NBA history, and this
crazy,
is
bro.
He's been in the league for a year and a half. Like that doesn't even compute to me.
Like, how is that possible?
Like, if you really think about it, I guess it makes some sort. No, it doesn't even make any sense because like he's averaging. Is he averaging 4 blocks a game right now?
It's like 3.5, I guess.
Yeah, so he's probably had the same last year. Oh my god, bro! Has he hit 1,000 yet?
I don't know. Let's check.
For his career? No way, right? Gotta be like 600 to 650 or something at most. But like his defensive impact is absolutely absurd. Like
in 94 games, he has 341 career blocks.
Oh, I did the math for the whole season. Okay. Yeah. So 340. That's more than 90% of the league.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense, right? Because I guess like when is like Chris Paul getting 300 blocks?
That's true. Yeah, Chris Paul probably has like 30 blocks.
Yeah. But his defensive impact doesn't make any sense. Like he makes people scared to go in the paint, kind of like a Gobert. But the difference between like him and Gobert is like his
presence is just so much more like I feel like his presence in the paint is just so much more. It's so much more scary than like if you see like Victor standing in the paint and then you see like Rudy standing in the paint. You're like, people are always like, I bet. Let me go and try and dunk on Rudy. No one's like,
we can't say that anymore though, because John Moran just took Wemby's lights out.
That is true. That is true. But that was after the whistle. So I don't know. Was Wemby really trying?
I don't know why he did that, bro.
Yeah.
What was his thought process behind that? Anyways, do you remember last year when John Moran's like, I'm not going to dunk anymore?
Yeah. And then dunked after the whistle. It makes no sense.
This guy's different. But Like we're gonna talk about Wemby so much. Like I kind of like Dyson, Dort, Jan. I think other people probably need more highlight in this because
Yeah.
Wemby's gonna win this award going away.
I feel like we could
But
touch on Emo a little because I don't think
yeah,
Emo gets is getting like he's on the the leaderboard in the NBA, but like I don't think people are like realizing how good of a defender he actually is.
like to carry a defense with players like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, with all due respect to like how good they are offensively, like the fact that they're one of the best defensive teams in the league is like it's squarely on Emo and Jared Allen, but like
Yeah.
mostly Emo because of his defensive versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are a few people in the league who can truly guard like at least 2 through 5, and like I'm not saying Emo's gonna stay in front of Ant or Shea or like Luca or one of these people, but like the fact that you can be comfortable with him on a switch, where like if Mitchell's getting screened, you have Emo on the perimeter. The fact that you be comfortable with that switch, like, is enough. Like
Yeah.
to show like how good he is defensively. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how many blocks he's averaging per game. I think it's around 2.
Yeah, it's 2.
Um, he's like and like his like effective like rim percentage is like like his stats don't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Like it obviously helps him that Jared Allen is so good defensively, but like I'm sure if it was just him, he could carry that defense on his own too.
Yeah, like for me, it's like you said, it's like that defensive versatility. Like if you can be able to guard or like stay in front of a guard for even like a decent amount of time, and like you put your team in like a proper area to succeed, that's where I see like you're really solidifying yourself as one of the league's best defenders. And like you said, like that team doesn't have great individual defenders. Like it's really only like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and then like Isaac Okoro when he's healthy. And I don't remember when Isaac Okoro has been healthy. And he's been pretty disappointing this season as well.
He has some
So
fire shoes though. You ever see the Isaac Okoro signature shoes?
yeah, they're pretty tough.
Pretty tough.
The most random people be having the most fire shoes. I'm not gonna lie. Crazy. But and then just to touch on Dyson Daniels, I mean he's leading the league in like deflections, steals. He's had like multiple games with like 6+ steals. He's locking up the team's best perimeter defenders. And like that progression has been crazy. Like I did not think he was such a defensive like specialist when he was on the Pelicans, but I guess he just didn't get that playing time that he deserved.
I remember when the Thunder played the Pelicans in the first round. For some reason, I got caught up in Pelicans Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and like a lot of their fans always wanted to see Dyson guard Shea, which I always found interesting because like, oh my god, you have Herb Jones, like he's doing such
Yeah,
a good job, like why I put Dyson. But then I'm understanding like to give Herb a break, like you have this
put
guy
Dyson
that you
on.
can switch
Yeah,
on to him too. Like if you have both of them at the same time, like could you imagine how good the defense would be?
it'd
Like
be crazy.
so they're cooking something. I'm not gonna lie because I didn't see
Yeah,
it coming, but like
man,
we see it now.
clearly they didn't cook anything up.
We see it now. He's one of the best defenders in the league, and like 3.5 steals a game. Fair enough, man.
Crazy, bro. 3.5 steals a game is insanely hard.
Yeah,
That's really hard. And then I think we'll move on to sixth man of the year.
sure.
All right, perfect.
What's your ballot for this one?
Okay, so for 3, I have Pritchard.
See, like this is crazy.
Yeah,
he's so far and away one.
yeah.
For 3, I have Amen Thompson.
Okay. For 2, I have Ty Jerome.
For 2, I have DeAndre Hunter.
Okay, and then 1, I have Naz Reid.
Yeah, this is crazy. The fact that Nas Reed is sniffing the top 3 is nonsense, man. One is
Yeah,
Peyton Pritchard.
yeah. I mean, okay. We kind of, me and Aashrith, well, what happened was we recorded this episode and then we were like, we're re-recording it right now. So we kind of already talked about it, but I
Yeah.
changed my list a little bit, but I didn't change it too much. I kind of forgot DeAndre Hunter a little bit. He has been playing amazing, but the only reason I didn't put him on my sixth man of the year is because he's only played 28 games this season and he started I think 9 or 10 of them. So like it's 18 off the bench still. He's averaging I think like 18 on the year. So that you still have to be averaging at least 15 off the bench to be able to keep your averages like that. Ty Jerome, like he didn't do jack shit when he was on the Thunder or the Warriors. Like on the Warriors, there were like very small flashes of him being like a streaky scorer in the league. I never thought like his body type would be like good enough to like be a good player in the league, and I also didn't think nothing stood out like crazy for me. Like he's not super fast, he's not like crazy, like he doesn't have crazy handles, but he could shoot the lights out of the ball. I did not know that. Like he every time he gets the ball and he's taking a shot, it looks like it's going in. He's averaging close to like 11 points per game. A huge reason as to why like that bench is like a top 5 bench in the league. Like when you look at that Cavs bench, you don't look at them and you go, oh, damn, like that's a good bench. But they have small pieces like Ty Jerome that are making them that. And then Naz Reid, I mean, that he's been sensational ever since like 2025. I think he's averaging like at least 21 points per game since 2025. Yesterday he dropped 29 points in like 29 minutes against the Grizzlies. I still don't understand why he's coming off the bench. I have a feeling that he's on a
Defense, bro.
defense. You think so? He's a great defender though. He's a lot better than Randall.
Like you don't trade for a player. You don't trade Cat away for a player and not have the player you trade Cat away start. You know.
Yeah, but it's you know what it's looking like right now. Dante got hurt, is out for at least a month. It's looking like a Cat for Julius trade right now.
Oh my god.
Thinking about that that's bad.
Cat for Julius trade is crazy.
Yeah, but Nas is still having a great season coming off the bench. He's averaging 13.5 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 38% from 3. I mean, like, oh no, that's numbers for 6th man of the year. It's just the team hasn't been doing that well. Again, like there's been a lot of ups and downs for the team, so I can see why he's on like no one's ballot, and he did win it last year. So like a little bit of the fatigue, even though it's probably not there. So that's my list. I think the only person I also put Pritchard a little low. I feel like if anybody should win, I feel like it should be maybe DeAndre Hunter or Ty Jerome, in my opinion. I don't think Pritchard should get it.
That's crazy. Nah, he's been the best bench player in the league, bro.
You think so?
Like it's like it's how good he's been like in that offense. But like the fact that if you're like 3rd in the league in threes off the bench, like if you're competing, like you know how many threes like Anthony Edwards has taken? Like he's taken like 500 threes.
He's taking 11 a game, 10 and 10
like,
a game. Yeah.
Like if you're competing like with that kind of volume off the bench, like I don't know how many threes Pritchard's taking a game, maybe 7. If I had to take like a wild guess, 7 or 8. But like he went from like a player that Missoula used in the finals as like a gadget half court situation player where like his entire purpose was to come in the game and make half court jump shots to like genuinely truly running like the second unit. And like it's not just like shooting threes and like getting to the corner. It's like being like a pick and roll threat. Like him and Porzingis off the pick and roll is like really tough. Like you have anyone on this team set him a screen, honestly, and it's gonna work out. And like they got him on a bargain contract too. We found this out yesterday too.
Yeah.
Like 4 years, 30 million is absolutely absurd.
Crazy, bro. That's less than 8 million a year. Like I don't know how you're doing that.
Yeah. Like he's been one of the best offensive bench players in the league. I think Hunter could win it. I honestly like didn't know he was coming off the bench. I'm not too tapped into Hawks basketball. Like I don't know why he's not starting. Like who are they starting over him? Because like his year 6 to year 7 jump, he truly is one of those players who like should theoretically win most improved. Because like he's not one of those people who are like stars who like I think the odds on favorite right now most improved is because later is going to be Cade Cunningham. Yeah. And like players like him, like we expect to like get better because they're the number 1 overall pick. Or like players like John Morant, like we expect to get better because they're like the number 2 overall pick. But when you're at year 6 and you haven't really shown any sort of like flashes maybe, but any sort of consistency, and suddenly year 7 you're a 20 point per game scorer, like him and Norman Powell should really be like up there for most improved. But that's
like I always like that was like my whole thing with DeAndre Hunter. Like when he came into the league from Virginia, like after like that national championship, I thought like he would be like a great like NBA ready, like year 1 in the league. Like he's gonna be NBA ready because he had the body, he has a height, he has a length. He is a great defender when he was in college. He's still a great defender in the league, and his offensive game in college is very polished. But then when he came in the league, it was just like it's like he forgot how to get to the basket. And like in college, a lot of what he did was like getting to the basket. And then they kind of I feel like the role that they kind of made him play is kind of what changed like his like progression, because they put him more of a 3-and-D player. And it takes players like, because all NBA players, like when they're in college or in high school, they go from being like the best player on their team to being like, oh, like the 5th best player on the NBA team. So it takes some time to get like used to the role they're playing. But I feel like he's gotten a bigger role now because DeJounte Murray's gone. And like that team, it's more of like a team, and like they're playing like a team now instead of just Trey and DeJounte. So I feel like he's getting more opportunity, and he's showing what he can do with that opportunity.
So, and I think my third, oh, it's Amen Thompson, like one of the best defenders in the league, like
Yeah.
genuinely, like probably like the bounciest player in the league, like low
Hmm.
key, like him and his brother. Like it's crazy what he's done. He should be starting. Like he's another player who like I don't really understand like what the issue is with like just getting rid of Fred VanVleet. Like Fred VanVleet had one good game this season. It was against the Thunder.
Yeah.
Like like I don't you know how mad I was when he put 38 on our head. Like I
Yeah,
was
he
like, what's
dropped
going
31.
on?
He dropped 31 on us on like
Yeah,
okay efficiency. Like it wasn't
yeah.
like anything crazy.
No, that man he had like a 40-foot bomb to like win the game against us. That shit was so annoying. But like it's like players like Reed. Imagine a Reed Shepard, a Men Thompson backcourt. Like they have so many riches on the bench,
They
and
don't
like you
they
said,
don't even give Cam Whitmore playing time, bro.
yeah, Cam Whitmore's tough too.
He's so tough.
Yeah, but Amen Thompson, like he's finally rounding up that offensive game. When you saw him in OTE, like he like genuinely was scared when he shoot the ball. Like
I think he still like he's a lot more confident in his shot, even though his shot is not where it needs to be. Like his
yeah,
ability to get to the basket is very, very good. Like he can get to the basket at will if he wants to. But like
he kind of has that baseline mid range jump shot now. He at least against like I watched a couple Rockets games because they're a fun team to watch. Like he kind of has that baseline mid range jump shot. The three is not there,
the
but
three
like
is there at all.
you don't want like a Ben Simmons situation where you're just scared to take it, right? Like you
Yeah.
kind of want it to be more like Giannis, where like even though like Giannis isn't really the best 3-point shooter, like the threat of him taking the three is there, and like he'll have
So
that
there,
game.
yeah.
Like remember the All Star game, Giannis made like 7 threes out of nowhere.
7 threes, yeah.
It's like that, where
Like
like
you kind of just have to like at least be able to make like one or two threes a game where like the defender like doesn't like just stay back on you, but like
yeah,
they're also like not like putting a hand up fully in your face. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for six man of the year.
Yep.
I think we can go to coach of the year next.
Yeah, we can go to coach of the year.
So I guess I'll
So
start with this one.
yeah, you can start this one.
So my third is Ime Udoka,
Okay. My third is Mark Daigneault of the Thunder.
and my second is Jamal Mosley,
Yep. My second is Jamal Mosley as well from the Magic.
and first is Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, 100% Kenny Atkinson. He has to win that award.
Yeah, just like the way he's got the Cavs to like change the way they play basketball. Like
Yep.
a lot of it used to be like you could see like a lot of Donovan Mitchell like go ISO, and like he'd average like 27, 28 points a game. Like it would be like kind of like how like the Russ PG Mellow Thunder played, where it's like, oh, it's your turn, it's your turn, it's your turn, it's your turn. Like it wasn't really like a cohesive offense. It's kind of like just taking turns, like going ISO, and like kind of like how the Suns play right now, actually.
Kind of like
But
how we're playing right now too, like with Julius and
yeah,
Julius
kind of
and
like, like how y'all play right now. Yeah. But like, um, I spaced out. Oh yeah. So the thing with Donovan Mitchell is he's taken that sort of step back where like, okay, like I can get my points within the flow of the offense. Like
mm-hmm.
maybe I won't average 27, instead I'll average 23. And but those 4 points, I want to be 4 points. Like I'll give the points off to Darius Garland, like Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Dean Wade. Like you have so many pieces in that starting lineup. And even like you said, Ty Jerome, you have a lot of players off the bench that can like make impact plays that they probably couldn't if Mitchell like hogged the ball as much. And
Yeah.
Atkinson's like sort of emphasis on ball movement has been like pretty fun to watch. Like against us, those two games especially, it was such high level basketball. Like
Yeah.
they drove to the paint. They had like in like 24 seconds of like kickouts until they got an open look. And it's
Yeah.
like frustrating for like defenses to guard because like you're like it's all good and well in the first 2 quarters, but you're still in the fourth quarter doing that shit. Like the defense is about to get tired, and those same players have to go score on the other end now too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of movement that tire. It's like the best defense is also a good offense, like moves the
Yep.
ball as well, because like you're also tiring out the other team as well.
My whole thing with him is like if you look at that Cavs roster from top to bottom, it barely changed from like the last like 3 years. Like from like last year especially to this year. That roster is I think it's basically the same. I don't think they really made any like changes.
Ty Jerome only change.
Yeah, Ty Jerome only changed. And taking that same roster, and I think they were what, a 6 seed last year?
Yeah.
Or yeah, a 6 seed to literally like no questions asked, the number 1 seed. That just shows like the potential that roster had, but they didn't have the right coaching. So that like in itself shows why he deserves coach of the year. Like that just explains it right there. Like just the roster being the same, just the coaching change being the key difference of why the team is so good now.
Yeah. I also think like Jamal Mosley deserves some love too,
Yeah,
because
he deserves a
man,
lot of
that
love.
team's been ravaged.
That
Like
team has injuries from Paulo being out for almost 2 to 3 months. Franz is out for I think the season, right?
no. Franz had the same injury as Paolo. So if
Oh,
Paolo
oblique
came back
injury.
last week,
Yeah,
then
yeah. It took
Franz
him
probably
2
after All Star break.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo is out right now. Jalen Suggs has been out for a while. Anthony Black's been in and out. Jalen Suggs
Mm.
is also in and out of the rotation. Like, who are you playing at that point? Like G
Yeah.
League players half the time.
Yeah. But one thing is cool is he's really found a way to unlock Anthony Black.
Yeah.
And like I only noticed that because I was super high on Anthony Black coming out of the draft. I thought he'd kind of be like that sort of Lonzo Ball type player where like you like what people thought Lonzo, not what Mike Corzen thought Lonzo Ball would be, but like what reasonable people thought Lonzo Ball would be, which is like sort of like 3-and-D sort of guard that can like really make plays. And he hasn't really developed the sort of three part of his game yet. The jump shot's
Mhm.
there sometimes, but like it's not as consistent as he'd like it. But the defense is like locked down.
Yeah.
And like a future backcourt of him and Suggs, because they signed KCP for Loki no reason. Because
Yeah.
you have Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs. Like Jalen Suggs is an all NBA level defender. Anthony Black will get there in a couple years. So you have those two defenders. Like Jamal Mosley really found a way to unlock him, like through like them the rest of the team getting injured. Do they still have Markel Fultz on that team? Does he even get playing time anymore?
I don't know if he's even on the team.
Because he looked at like a little nice stretch for a while,
Yeah.
like last season. I was kind of rooting for him. I really liked him in Washington,
No, Markel Fultz is a free agent.
bro.
Damn, how is he
He
not
should
on the
get
back?
picked up,
Yeah. Yeah, he should get picked up.
bro. They got Eric Gordon playing real NBA minutes.
Yeah,
Are you
well,
serious? What are the Sixers doing? Sign this guy, bro.
yeah,
They're
bring him
playing
back.
Kyle Lowry. Are you serious?
Bring him
Well,
back, bro. What are you guys doing?
like the Nets are playing. Oh my god, they're playing Keon Johnson real NBA minutes, and Markel Fultz is like a free agent. Are you serious? No disrespect, of course, but
But yeah, like that team has been so injured from like top to bottom. And like they're still, I think they're still the 4 seed, right? They like
yeah,
when Paulo got hurt, they were the 4 seed, and then when he came back, they were the 4 seed. So that's the
yeah,
definition of like kind of using your personnel, making them buy into like your game plans each and every game. And speaking of Anthony Black, like I was about to say the same thing. Like I've been watching a little bit of like actually a lot more Magic games this year because like I was a little bit excited the team. He's been locked down, like you said, and his ability to like finish at the rim is also like he finishes at the rim at a high level. And I think part of his game that's lacking is a three. Like he has a mid range a little bit. He's also like pretty tall. I think he's around like 6'6" ish.
yeah. Lonzo's
Yeah,
height.
yeah, like 6'6", 6'7". And then like I'll also like I started watching like highlights from him when he was in college. He was a great defender in college too, like picking up full court, picking up the other team's best player. And you wouldn't have to do that on the Magic because you have Jalen Suggs on your team, you have Jonathan Isaac on your team, so you can still be an elite defender and also be like great offensively. And then
Yeah.
speaking of him, like his brother is also tough. His brother is like 15 or 16 years old. I was watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came up on my TikTok yesterday. His name like Beckham Black. He's also pretty dirty too.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Who do we have there? Oh yeah, Ime. We talked on the Rockets already a
Yeah.
bunch, but like the fact that like wherever Ime goes, like defense is like the culture. Like
Mhm.
when he was on the Celtics, like they terrorized Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And like when he moved from the Celtics to the Rockets, even the Celtics were like this fantastic defensive team, and they had the personnel to do it too.
Mhm.
Then he moves to the Rockets, and you sort of have like your two best players are Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün, and they don't really play that much defense.
Yeah.
Like getting them to sort of buy into the rest of the role players, you have like a man who's obviously a good defender. You have Tari Eason, who's obviously a really good defender. You have like Reed Shepard, who should be a good defender, but doesn't get playing time.
Dylan
But
Brooks.
like Dylan Brooks out like an all NBA level defender. You have
Mhm.
all these like pieces who are like really really solid defenders that like you build a defensive culture that like players who maybe think they're above defense like Jalen Green they really buy into it. And Şengün is maybe not like the most like mobile, can sort
Mhm.
of make his way, and like he's not really playing that well defense, but like he's like good enough, you know?
Yeah.
Like that all comes down to Ime. Like Steven
Yeah.
Silas, like that guy could not get anything out of any like the players on this roster. And
Yeah.
like
100%. Like that organization was a joke when Steven Silas was a coach. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good that like Ime's up there. Also, like I know you mentioned Mark, and we
Mhm.
can talk about Mark too. I'm sure Mark won't get nominated this year because like
Yeah.
he won last year, but you can touch on Mark if you like.
Yeah. I mean, like the Thunder are having like historically like one of like their best seasons of like all time, and like they have historically one of the best defenses in the league too. And it's not like just like you having like individual defenders, and that's the reason why your team is so good. Like if you watch them play, like the rotations that are being made are always spot on. The matchups are always spot on. Like the way he changes his lineups in are always spot on. Like for example, if you watch the Cavs versus Thunder game, you don't see a lot of coaches doing this. Like when every time Donovan Mitchell went up to the scorer's table to get checked into the game, Mark Daignault would literally tell Lou Dort, "Yo, get your ass to the scorer's table," and Lou Dort was standing right there checking into the game at the same time. You don't see coaches doing that. Like even though like Lou Dort might not be able to stop Donovan Mitchell every single play, like just the fact of like that offensive player seeing like the defensive player over and over again, like from start to finish of the game, like that takes a toll on them. And for a coach to be able to understand that and like put his team in like different ways for them to be successful, and he basically gets the strengths out of like each and everybody on your team. Like for example, like Isaiah Joe, he comes off the bench, shoots the lights out of the ball, but it's not like he's working really hard for his shots. Like he's coming off like plays and screens that I guarantee Mark drew up are like designed for him to come off the catch or come off a screen or a backdoor cut and have an easy three. So like I just like the way the team plays, they play so easy. And like I feel like that you have to give credit to a coach, because in that at that point your coach is putting like every player and kind of using their strengths and making the team the best that it could be.
Yeah. And like I mean, you can't say enough about like the job that he's done since like he got to the Thunder. Like he like 20-win team, like effectively like our best player at one point was, because Shea was hurt, was Ty Jerome.
Yeah. Like
and
the
like we
progression
get
he's made since coach has been crazy. Like going from 20 wins, then making the play in, then going to like a top 3 seed, then continuing that consistency of being a top 3 seed every single year from now on.
22-60 to now 35-7.
Yeah.
Which is
Wow.
like,
It's
fair
crazy.
enough. And before we move on to most improved, like
Dude.
shout out Ty Lue too.
Yeah.
Because like, my God.
The Clippers,
like,
we thought they'd be a bottom 3 team in the West, lottery team pretty easily, but they're hanging on to the 5th seed, and they doing most of that without Kawhi. Kawhi just came back a week ago too, so
yeah, the Thunder were on flag watch with the Clippers. Now we're on flag watch with the Sixers. So.
Yeah, like that's crazy. I did not expect the Clippers to do that. James Harden's been playing unbelievable.
Yeah.
Should
he won't be an all-star, but he should be.
He should, yeah, 100%.
And Norm too.
Norman too. Yep. And then we want to do most improved or clutch player of the year?
We can do most improved.
Okay, most improved. So
interesting one.
For MIP, for number 3, I have Norman Powell.
Norman Powell is a good one, dude. Mm-hmm. I wish I could have included him.
Yeah, there's so many players that have been playing really well this year.
Norman Powell's good. I had Tyler Hero at 3.
Okay. Number 2, I have Tyler Hero.
And number 2, I have Jalen Johnson.
Okay, number 1, I have Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, number 1, I have Cade, which is like the person who's going to win the award.
Yeah, Cade's going to win the award. But like my thing was like I think I explained this to you yesterday as well. Like I always think of Cade as like an all-star. So like that progression I feel like was always going to happen. Like I didn't think like, oh wow, like Cade dropping 24, 10, and 8 every game. Like that's crazy. I expected that to happen year 3 or year 4 into his career. But like again, like the numbers are crazy. Like that, especially like the success that Pistons team has had, and I feel like you got to give it to him.
Like I think yesterday is like the typical like you can give an example as to how much he's improved, because yesterday he started off the game, he is like it's a pretty slow start for him. I think he has 5 or 6 points in the half, and then he goes on a tear in the third quarter, 19 points in the third quarter. Like he's just cooking them, and like for a Pistons team like that to even compete with the Rockets, where the Rockets are the second best team in the West, like for them to even compete, because like they won 14 games last season. Now they've already exceeded their win total last season by 8. And like essentially like a lot of it is on Cade. A lot of it obviously is on like the fact that like Monty Williams is not their coach anymore, with all due respect to Monty. But like J.B. Bickerstaff, it's interesting like how what a team can do for you, because he like we're talking about how good Kenny Atkinson has been, but
Bickerstaff was the coach of the Cavs.
Bickerstaff couldn't figure it out with the Cavs, but now he's really locked in with the Pistons.
Yep. I could, that's a good reasoning as to why Cade definitely gonna win that. I could see that 100%. Yeah. But for me, I think like Jalen Johnson's been having such an amazing season, man. Like I think
he should have won it last season.
Yeah, I feel like he should have won it last season, but he got hurt last season, so he couldn't win it. Like defensively, he's amazing. Offensively, he's gonna go out there, give you like 20 to 25 points, and like grab you 10 to 12 boards a night too, all along with like getting his teammates involved. Like when you see him play, like he doesn't do anything like super flashy, or it's like maybe you'll see like one or two dunks that are crazy, but like he's not out there like doing step back threes or anything like that. He's kind of doing what his team needs to do, and I feel like he's like the perfect like I don't know if he's at like a 2A level just yet as like a second star next to Trey. I feel like maybe give him another year or two, but like that 2B is like definitely where he's at right now. Like I could see him like transforming into a like from a 20 point per game scorer to like close to like a 22, 23 point per game score in the next like 2-3 years.
Yeah. And like you mentioned it, like his ability to work on both sides is like so tough.
Like my
And
ideal trade for Cat would have been like a Jalen Johnson and like maybe like a if they had like Sadiq Bey at that time, like Sadiq Bey when that trade went in the offseason. But I would have loved to have Jalen Johnson on the Wolves. That would have been amazing. But he's an untouchable for the Hawks for like and it's pretty obvious reasons why he is.
yeah. And shout out Tyler Hero too, like working through that sort of dysfunction in Miami,
Yep.
like whatever's going on there with Jimmy Butler, like he's still balling. Like
Especially with him being in trade talks for his whole career and he's still there, but not talking about anything and just like playing basketball.
did he sign an extension?
I don't think he did.
Damn, bro. If he didn't, then like someone's about to get. He's there's. I hope he doesn't stay. He signed a 4-year 120, but when did he sign it?
On October 2nd, 2022.
Okay, so he has 2 seasons left. Okay, damn, so he can't even leave soon. It's
Yeah.
interesting. No, free time,
And
man. Get him out of there.
he probably has like a player option his last season or something.
No option. Just straight into free
No.
agency.
Oh, okay. That's right. That makes it better for him at least if he wants to leave.
Yeah. Just get you out of there.
Yeah, that team is I don't really God knows what's gonna happen with that team. I don't even like Jimmy's still playing, but like I don't really know why he's playing. Like
Bro, he put out the Jordan press release. He's like, I'm back. I'm like, no one cares. Like,
no one cares, bro.
play basketball, bro.
We know you're not trying anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you telling us?
And then Shams came out and was like, Jimmy has doubled down on his trade request. I'm like, what's going on? Bro? Is he back or is he not?
Like pick a side, bro.
It is.
But moving on to I think like we just like touched on this real quick. Clutch player of the year.
Yeah.
Who do you have for 3?
I have Jokic at 3.
Okay, I have Tyrese Maxey at 3.
Okay.
At 2,
Clutch
who do you
player
have?
winning 11 games. Drew.
Who do you have at 2?
I have Shea at 2.
I have Shea at 2 as well, and then 1.
Yeah. DG.
DG. Okay, I have DG at 1 as well.
Yeah. I flipped him. I had Shea at 1 yesterday, but I think I've thought about it, and I don't think the Thunder have really been in enough clutch situations to put Shea at 1. Like,
See, like
Shea's in
I
the
feel like
last
you
like
guys
9
been.
games. No,
You
he
guys,
hasn't played fourth quarters.
oh yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Like in January, he's only played He only played minutes in 4 fourth quarters, and he's only played the full fourth quarter like twice.
What?
Yeah.
It's so crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's been 20 days into January. He's probably played like 10 games at least.
See, like we've had like because we had
Bro, imagine
no,
walking to a game and then like you in your head you're like, damn, bro, there's a 50% chance I don't have to play the fourth quarter today.
he
What?
played 3 fourth quarters. I remember which games. It was the Knicks game where we were down. It was the Celtics game where we were also down, and then it was the first Cavs game where we lost. That's the only 3 games we played the fourth quarter. Like because the rest of them, we've had a pretty light schedule aside from that. Like we got the Wizards, like he's not gonna play the fourth. We got the Nets, like we got the second Cavs game. We were up by 40 to like a half, so he's not gonna like play he didn't play the second half.
That's true.
But
I had Ant number 2, but I switched to Shea after yesterday's game.
yeah, bro, because that man just
Bro took
another
I don't know
break.
if you saw, but he took a fadeaway step back contested 3 when we were
That's
down.
what I said
2.
yesterday, bro. Like he'll hit those shots 4 times, and you forget the times he missed it 11 times.
Yeah,
Like
I like saw the shot, and then in my head I was like, "Damn, Aashrith, you're right."
I
I was like, I only remember the ones he makes, but I'm definitely gonna be remembering that one he missed.
That's what I'm saying, bro. DG should win it. I think they're gonna give it to Jokic if I'm looking at the odds.
Yeah,
Like he has minus odds to win it. I don't really understand that. I guess because I don't view Jokic as a clutch player, but he definitely is. But like he doesn't like have like the flashy handles like the step back game winner. So like I don't really like
just throw it to him in the post and then let him do his like little hook shot or like just like punish you in the paint.
Yeah. But DG is just like the fact that it's not Mitchell, it's him, that he's the go-to guy in the clutch for them is like it's pretty
Crazy.
cool.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell is really not that clutch. I'm not gonna lie.
But you can't say that, bro.
Yeah, he's
He's
not like
tough, bro. You can't say
super
that.
clutch. He's not
He,
super
that man
clutch.
is a demon in the playoffs.
He is. He is. I mean, in the bubble, he was pretty good.
Nah, he's always been good in the playoffs.
Last year, he was hurt. They only played one series last year too. I think he only played 2 games in them.
Yeah, but the first season he was insane.
Yeah.
For the Jazz, he was always good in the playoffs. Like he took us out on pretty much on his own.
Yeah, I think he averaged like 25 points per game in the playoffs, like his rookie season when he.
Yeah, against us. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice
He's
guy.
tough though. Shout out
Yeah,
DG.
he made Gobert actually look like a fucking serviceable offensive player.
I mean, I can't do, I guess.
Yeah, that's something Ant can't do. Ant
let's
makes
move-
Gobert look worse.
Let's move swiftly. Let's discuss these next two real quick because
Yeah.
we can't do another hour 30-minute episode, man.
Yeah. So first team, who do you have?
So this should be pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Shea, Giannis, Jokic, top 3 MVP finalists, and then Tatum. I feel like gonna be like just another pencil there for the rest of his career. And then I chose Cat here.
Yeah, I have the same exact. I have Shea, Giannis, Jokic, Cat, Tatum.
And the one I was debating was between Cat,
Cat.
Wemby, and Donovan Mitchell too,
Oh, okay. I can see
because
that.
of the Cat success.
I can see
So
that.
who's your second team?
My second team would be Ant, Dimage, AD, Wemby, KD.
Yeah, that's exactly the same as mine.
Yeah. And then my third team is Brunson, Cade, LeBron, Booker, Sengun.
See, Brunson and Cade are like the ones that, like, because Curry I have, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't have Steph.
see, that's the thing where it's like I'm not over it yet. I can't take Steph out of there yet, bro.
So
I got
maybe I take out Booker and put Steph, like Brunson, Cade, Steph. I think that would be it. Because I feel like the Rockets have to have an all NBA player on their team if they continue being a top 3 seed.
You think so? You think
Especially
Sengun
in the
gets it?
Western Conference.
Good point. But the Grizzlies don't have any.
The Grizzlies will have all defensive player, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough, bro. Because I have Curry, LeBron, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, and Evan Mobley.
Low key though, I could see myself switching out Sengun for Triple J.
You think
Jaren
so?
Jackson Jr. has been playing. He's been playing. In my opinion, I think he's been better than Ja this season. For the
Ja's been
Grizzlies.
terrible this season. Too,
Yeah,
guys.
he's been so much better than Ja this season. Like
Yeah.
in the clutch, Jaren Jackson Jr. is like their go-to guy.
Thing is, my perspective on it was so bad because I didn't watch too many Grizzlies games until like they played us, and like we sparked him because they had no one. So it was just JJ in his own, and he went 3 for 18 that game. So I'm like, bro, like, what's the hype around this guy? Like, he's been pretty bad. And then Jake texted me the same thing. Our friend Jake, sorry, he's a Clippers fan, so he doesn't really know much about basketball. But like, he was like, yo, like JJJ is so bad. I'm like, yeah, I know, he's terrible. But then like I started watching him like for real. I'm like, okay, this guy actually like is actually having a really good season. He just had 2 bad games.
The way he shoots, it's like really unconventional. He like pushes the ball like every single time, and I don't think it's going in, but every time it's cash, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's like weird. He's been solid,
and he's clamps on defense too. Like, don't even get me started on that, especially in the post. Oh my god.
Yeah, a little scar from yesterday.
Yeah, bro. And my only knack on his game is that he can't grab a rebound for being like 6'10".
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like that's like
the whole reason why they drafted Zach Edey, obviously.
Yeah.
But who's your third team?
So my third team: Curry, LeBron, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, Evan Mobley.
Okay, so I don't have Trae, I don't have Brown, and I don't have. You think JB is gonna get it?
For sure, he might get second team, bro. He always gets all NBA.
He's been playing amazing too.
My thing is like I think Trae Young and Evan Mobley are like the outside shouts, I guess. Like Sengun, like obviously, like he's been really good this season. I just prefer Mobley, I guess, like personally as a player. I think like Trae's been disrespected so much. Like I don't really like him as a player. I hate the way he plays basketball. Like it really pisses me off. Like especially like the little like when he gets in like the little like paint area and like backs into you.
That's
I hate that so much. But like as a passer, purely as a playmaker, like
those assist numbers
gotta give him respect.
Yeah,
and the Hawks are actually kind of decent.
And he's also brought down his turnover numbers as well, like pretty decently. So that's
Yeah.
like a huge thing. But we'll swiftly move on to the all defensive teams. There's only two. So who's your first team?
So my first team is Wemby, Evan Mobley, Lou Dort, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Dyson Daniels.
All right, mine is AD, Wemby, Daniels, Mobley, and Lou Dort.
True.
Yeah.
Lou Dort has made your team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's after that, after what he did against Donovan Mitchell, and then what, like, because like I saw what Donovan Mitchell did against Jaden McDaniels, who is also considered a top 5 perimeter defender in the league, and Jaden McDaniels is not. He's a great defender, like
Yeah.
really good. He does really good against like Luka, De'Aaron Foxes, but I think like I think Dort like just specifically like matches up really well against any type of like guard, because the problem with guards is like either like Luka's too big for a guard, or like Donovan Mitchell or like De'Aaron Fox is too fast for a guard. But Lou Dort has the mix of both. Like he looks really stocky and he looks like
Yeah,
he's
you don't
slow.
think about how fast he is, bro.
He's fast as fuck. Like
Yeah.
the acceleration is like he's the first one to the ball on any loose ball every single time. He's the first one on the floor. And like Donovan Mitchell kind of plays where like he like fades away, does like puts his bumping into your body a little bit. Lou Dort's taking that any day. Like bro's chest like comes out until like here. I guarantee he benches like 325 pounds. Like he's fucking
He's back,
yoked.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that versatility against like any type of guard is like why I think he should be first team. Has he made it all NBA all
He's
defensive
never
team
an
yet?
all defensive team ever, let alone first
Wow,
team.
that's
And
crazy.
you think, right? Because like if you ask
He needs to get it because last year Jaden got second team. If Jaden got second team last year, Dort's playing at a much higher level than Jaden was last year. So I feel like he has to get one.
so like if you like after every Mavericks game, the like Dallas plays the Thunder, like they always ask him about Dort because like Luke always ends the game like super frustrated, and he's like, and like it's always like really class. It's like, yeah, like that's the best defender who's ever guarded me. Like that's like a top 3 defender in the league. Like if you ask Dame, like Dame's top 3 defenders always like Drew Holiday, Lou Dort, Drew Holiday, Lou Dort, and like he's your favorite NBA player, like most feared defender. Like it's always like that. And so
it's either like him or like now I'd be hearing people talking about Tony Allen after Katie said like, "Oh, Tony Allen, you were like the hardest person that guarded me."
Yeah. Tony Allen was like tough too.
Tony
But
Allen's a beast.
yeah. But like if you look at the way Lou Dort like changed the way he plays basketball, like now he's like couple the three the 3 and D aspect. He's really like made 3 and D. Like he's a 42% 3-point shooter now, and he's like actually a lockdown defender. He's not just like a size bully now. He actually like moves his feet, navigates screens. He actually like knows what he's doing.
His ability to navigate screens, I think he's like top three in the league in like screens in the percentage of screens navigated. And like with his body size, like you don't see players like that size trying to navigate screens like that. So like the ability for him to be able to do that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Did I say AD on my first team? I said JJJ on my first team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for my second team, I have AD, McDaniels, J-Dub, AD, McDaniels, J-Dub, Thompson, and then Rudy.
Okay. I have Dub, Bam, Amen, AD, and Shea.
Okay. So my only thing is I haven't watched Heat games a lot this season. I haven't heard too much of Bam. I know offensively he's not playing super good, but defensively is he still at like that level?
Yeah, he's like, I still think like he's still the only reason like this like they're even like capable defensively. Like they started coupling him with Khalil Ware, like
That's a good move.
That is really good because Khalil Ware is kind of that sort of like Miles Turner mold where like he really good shooter. You can get the blocks as well, and it kind of let Bam roam free a little bit like a free safety. Like Bam, I remember I bring this podcast all the time, but I remember the first time I really thought Bam was a good defender is when Russ was on the Rockets and Spo made the move to like take Jimmy off Russ and put Bam on Russ instead, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? Because this is just gonna be like this is like when Russ is like cooking, like past February when he's like averaging 30 a game.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Bam locked him down, but it was like Bam really made every shot like impossible. Like his ability to like move laterally at like 6'8", but so because like he's still 6'8", so he's like a small forward's height, but like he's getting rebounds and like blocks amongst like the big men.
Yeah.
So he doesn't play like he's like that short. Kind of like Jared Allen. You would think Jared Allen's like 7 foot, but he's actually 6'9". It's like
Jared's
it's
on
like that.
6'9". I think it's his
Yeah,
hair. It's definitely his hair that makes him look
yeah,
like he's 7 foot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that. So Bam's been pretty good defensively this season. Offensively, hasn't really been there. Like because they kind of make him play in like a shot creator role when he's like not like he just like lob threat mid range jump shot kind of guy.
Yeah.
But,
I want to touch on J-Dub real quick
yeah,
before we end the podcast. I mean, that dude's been amazing defensively. Like, there's been a month's time where the Thunder didn't have two of their starting centers in Chet and two centers in Chet and Ihart, and they didn't even have J-Will, who was also like a backup center for you guys as well during that time period. So you had a 6'6" small forward playing center for a whole month, and you guys, I think maybe lost like three games during that stretch or around that.
three
And like
games.
he was, yeah, and he was locking up. And when you put him outside of being in the paint and using him as like a perimeter defender, it's impossible to get around him. Like sometimes like I look at him and I'm like, yo, like is this dude like the best defender in the league? Cause like it's like crazy. Like there's like one specific play in my head that I remember watching against when you guys played us. It was Julius Randle had the ball. I don't know if you saw this clip before, but he dribbles it, tries to back down J-Dub at the elbow. J-Dub pokes it out. Then Julius takes the ball back, tries to run past J-Dub. J-Dub pokes the ball back out. Then Julius grabs the ball a third time and goes up for a shot and gets fucking like clobbered like everywhere. And I'm like, bro, he did this thing 3 times in a row against a pretty decent offensive player and someone who's also decently strong as well. So like being able to guard multiple positions, I feel like is again in the NBA is really good to have, and doing it at such a high level that he's doing it. And he doesn't foul too much either, which is pretty like that's what being a good defender is. Like being a good defender is making life harder for your opponents, and also you have to be able to stay on the floor to be a good defender. Like if you're on the bench, you're not helping your team. That's my knack with Jaden McDaniels. Like he within the first half, there's some times where he already has 4 fouls or 3 fouls, and you can't put him on Shea for the rest of the game because Shea's just going to bait him into like the 2 more fouls. But J-Dub does really good with like playing with his hands wide and playing with his body and kind of like letting the defenders run into his chest. He's also really underrated at taking screens. I've seen him take a couple good screens too. So that's like an underrated aspect of being a good defender as well.
It's his wingspan, bro. Like his arms are like actually like insanely long. You don't like see it because like it's like because he looks so disproportional, and you wonder why. But like if you look at the way he dunks, like he has no vert.
Yeah.
He's just dunking with his arms. Like it's crazy. Like I don't think he can like jump in the air.
Sometimes he looks like the most athletic person on the court, and then sometimes when I watch him play, it's like, damn, bro, can you even jump?
Yeah, but like it doesn't matter where he takes off from because his arms are so long. He just reaches the rim.
Yeah.
So but that really helps on defense because like he's kind of like the same stocky build as Lou Dort. So you have two of those guys and you can able to like switch off just in case Dort gets in foul trouble, or, like Kaysen comes in, etc. Like it's nice. Like having him play center was like a real like lift off, like probably a lift off Dagnall's like chest because it's gonna be Dort playing center if otherwise, and like that would mean our best defender is in the paint. So
it just So I think, is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we should be good.
Yeah, I think that's where we end the podcast off. We're probably gonna release another episode this week sometime, probably Thursday, Friday-ish, to give you a little bit of updates as the season goes on. It is the second half of the season. Usually the first half of the NBA seasons are a little bit slower most of the time, and things start picking up like coming towards All-Star break, and then after All-Star break is when things get even more serious. So we're gonna be coming out with a lot more content. TikTok got banned for like 12 hours, but it's back. So we'll probably start doing more clips on TikTok again, and also again Instagram Reels. And still follow us on YouTube at Off The Dribble. Follow us on I do remember we did have some of our podcasts up on Spotify, but we haven't been posting on Spotify. So we're gonna try and get that back up and running as well, because some of you asked about that. So we're gonna start doing that as well. So just keep sticking with us, and yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday or Friday. Peace.
Yep. Peace.